meltdown. Monday. Welcome to Meltdown Monday.
Welcome to this week's episode of Meltdown Monday. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Do we have options this week? We have some options. We're gonna get right off to it. We're gonna talk again, week 2, Miami Dolphins. Week 2, Miami Dolphins. Week 1, down. Week 2, lower. Off camera, can't even see them. The Dolphins blasted 33-8 by Colts in week 1. We know that. We've gotten that far. How do you follow up week 2 on that? You have an okay showing. You have sparks of hope and maybe the fans can see the light at the end of the tunnel. They follow up week 2 with a 33-27 loss at home to the Patriots. A beatable team at that. A beatable team. It's tough. Key problems here with the Dolphins. Turnovers and complete offensive collapse. Against Indianapolis, Miami lost that turnover battle. Week 2, we had chances. But we're talking, and again, the same old song, right? Penalties, missed opportunity, critical interceptions. What are we doing? Come on, man. A key problem too, and again, these are in no specific order because you could put this at number 1 and I would be okay with it. Defense. The defense can't stop anyone. Opponents are scoring on nearly every drive. The Colts and Patriots both expose weaknesses, especially on third down and in the secondary. Like, what? Moving on. Just coaching in general, mental lapses. Mike McDaniel admitted what happened versus the Colts was humiliating. He suggested the team underperformed across the board. That's a quote. There seems to be a lack of discipline in Miami. And I feel like that is something that has been very almost like transparent in a way to the fans. They can tell there's that lack of discipline. Penalties, miscommunications, slow adjustments, or no adjustments when things go wrong. Then we have to talk about the conditioning. The conditioning. What is going on with conditioning in Miami? They're dealing with injuries to starters that are either out or, as they like to say, week to week. Just tell me half the year, because that's usually what happens when it's a week to week in Miami. That just continues to make their depth thin. Right guard, James Daniels, Storm Duck, others that are out that can be key playmakers here. Bright spots, potential signs of hope in Miami. When they had momentum here in week 2, they showed that they can move the ball. They can make plays. The offense had flashes with that big punt return. They had, the bomb to Tyreek. And again, this is a stacked receiving core. This is a stacked running back core. And I'm a Tua believer. I don't want to say, but this is all Tua's fault. This is all Tua's fault. But the discipline has to come from somewhere. And as a leader, I think that you need to at least put your foot down if you want to succeed here and be the person that is going to be engaging in this discipline, because again, that's kind of where we fall short. there's fans that do believe, like myself, that coaching staff can fix things. But I feel like there's very little margin now. Power rankings I've dropped them to 32, last, dead last, which they haven't been. That's not a common denominator for them. Bottom lines for the Dolphins, they're in trouble. They're 0-2 with a flurry of negative momentum, defense breakdowns, turnovers, poor offensive consistency. I mean, if things don't improve fast, it could spiral. The issue here now is week 3. They're going to go into Buffalo. And I don't think they're going to come out of Buffalo with a W. I will eat my words gladly if they do. I would love to see a W in Buffalo. But, these teams out here are making the adjustments. They're making the strides where they need to. And unfortunately, it continues to seem like the Dolphins are not able to do that. This week, we're going to talk about another team. You all have options. Week 2 versus the Lions, the Bears, the Chicago Bears. Meltdown, 52-21 in that Detroit loss to the Bears. Things are getting shaky in the Windy City there. You have a quarterback that comes in, oh, I'm the best. I'm not going to need a kicker. I'm not going to need this. I'm going to take you guys here. I'm going to take you guys there. Hasn't shown up. The Lions tore you guys apart. Jared Goff was 23 for 28 for 334 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks, near a perfect game. What went wrong there? Defense again, pathetic. They gave up over 500 total yards. Run defense, especially bad. Detroit averaged close to 5.9 yards per carry. No pass rush. Goff had too much time. Bears could not get any pressure on him. Again, almost a perfect game. The offense had its moments, but it wasn't enough. Caleb Williams had a few early bright plays. Some connections with Rome Odunze, who had a career day. 7 catches, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. Whoopity-doo-dah day. He still got the L. And this is another team where we talk about penalties, turnovers, defensive collapse. Made those moments feel like dropping pebbles into an abyss. Might as well. Again, depth and injuries exposing weakness. Secondary is hurting. Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon were not fully in. Backups just got exposed. Penalties and mental errors are rampant. False starts, holdings. When you're already getting punished, those things will kill you. You're dead in the water at that point. Coaching and scheme issues, we kind of go back to that. Bears are under new coaching staff. They hope for improvement in the offseason. And unfortunately, this kind of collapse suggests that either the schemes are not properly dialed or the execution is way off. Unfortunately, the coaching staff is so young to the Bears right now that I cannot blame it on the schemes. It definitely may be. But we're looking at a year 2 Caleb Williams that is still not impressive. Returning to old stomping ground, Ben Johnson versus the Lions, he made his extra spotlight moment. And he felt the heat. He felt the heat. There's no other way to put that unless what happened? Bright side. Let's look at that one. Rome Odunze looks legit. He could be the go-to weapon if Caleb Williams can make the pass. I mean, that's all that has to be said there. Run game ended up producing serviceable numbers, 134 total yards, though overshadowed by everything else that we just talked about. I mean, bottom lines for the Bears here is they have structural problems. Defensive scheme, lack of pressure, talent depth. That offense has potential with Williams and Odunze, but they need consistency and defensive stops desperately, or more losses are coming. There's no question about that. Honorable mention, just because they're 0-2, Kansas City. Kansas City's 0-2. But you know what? Why are they not on the list? Why are they not the official Meltdown team of the week? Well, because they're Kansas City. They adjust when they need to. Kansas City has been down before, and guess what? They make it to the playoffs. Guess what? They make it to the Super Bowl. You know, it's too early for me to cast judgment on the Kansas City Chiefs right now. Now, if we go into a week 3 loss to the Giants, which the Giants showed out this weekend, but if we go into a week 3 loss to the Giants for Kansas City, we might be talking about them next week. But again, not this week. That's who we got. We got the Miami Dolphins. We got the Chicago Bears. You know what? Tell me what you guys think. Tell me, who you think recovered better, who you think was the biggest loser of those two, or if you have a different team, throw them in the comments. Throw them in the. I'd love to see more. If you want me to talk more about numbers, if you want me to talk more about specific players, let me know in those comments. I'm glad to go ahead and make those adjustments where necessary. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm out of here.
Welcome to Meltdown.